consistency is important to grow your eye as a photographer and to grow to be better at who you are as a person. Hi guys, and welcome to James and Will's Photography Corner.
Is that the new name for it?
No,
Okay,
that's
good.
horrible.
That's
it's
a terrible
horrible
name.
Yeah. Unless we were like really girly
in that corner.
in that corner. We're shooting in the corner over by the door.
Yeah.
I'm
Once we get relegated to the corner, we kind of get pushed into that corner. We can call it that.
The next episode's gonna be from the corner. That's awesome. We need to do that. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about consistency. First of all, Will, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling pretty consistent.
Feeling pretty consistent?
Yeah.
Consistent?
Not really like doing anything great today. Not really doing anything terrible today. Being very consistent with my effort.
Nice.
Consistently consistent.
Consistently like mediocre.
Like above that.
Oh.
Just like average.
Average.
I feel like that's a little bit above mediocre.
Okay.
By a little bit.
That's cool. Well, I'm consistently ginger. So we want to talk about consistency in terms of your photography pursuits. First I want to say that consistency and discipline, I could not find that word. Discipline are interchangeable in this video. So this is about pursuing your photography discipline as a person. So consistency is something that will help you grow as a photographer more than anything else will. I firmly believe that. And the kind of consistency I mean is consistency in what pursuit you're going after. So you have the biggest problem that I see in photographers is if you ask them what kind of photography they like to shoot, they're like, oh, just everything. I'm outside. I like if there's a building, I like it, and I'll take a picture of it. And so there was a tree. I saw a bird the other day who was eating a gummy worm, and I thought it was ironic. So I took a picture of that. So you can call me a travel photographer that doesn't travel.
That's too true.
So and that's fine, right? If that's your hobby, go for it, like do it. But if you want to grow, if you want to discipline yourself and become a very strong photographer and a very strong creator, I would venture to say that you have to find a specific route in your photographic life and go down it. So originally for me, this looked like the first thing I ever did was, and it's not really what I would do now. I did it a little wrong. But when I first started in photography, I did a daily photo blog. It was all over the place. I was like I had pictures of cars and trees and some snow sometimes.
Rocks, planes.
People
everything.
Throwing rocks.
Rocks at planes.
People throwing rocks at planes.
Planes dropping rocks on people.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That was a bad summer.
I got a lot of those pictures.
It was a bad summer. So it was all over the place. But I did have that first little inkling of consistency happening, and that grew me tremendously as a photographer. I look back at that photo blog now. It's still online. I'm not going to tell you where it's at. I look back at it now, and I'm like, it's not good. It's not happy. But it was a huge part of my growth. Now that's kind of tailored itself more into street photography. Slowly became more about that. And then it slowly became more and more about street portraits. And now it's very curated, as we talked about before. And all this helped me grow to be the photographer that I am today. And I'm continuing to grow, obviously. We're all continuing to grow. But the growth that I experienced through that was strong, and it was very deep. So how have you had consistency in your photographic ventures?
Man, my work has been so consistent. Ever since the very first day I ever picked up a camera, I've shot the exact same subject material. Like I've improved in composition and lighting, and
That's
I've
so
picked up
awesome,
some
man.
better
That's interesting.
cameras. Everything I've ever shot was basically people. I mean, I had a section for
Oh,
a
I thought you were
while
gonna say
on my
like,
blog.
like kittens.
Yeah,
Kittens in
street kittens,
bathtubs.
street kittens in portable bathtubs. Now, that if you want to
Let's
be
do
a
that.
successful internet photographer and be really famous, do that blog. I guarantee you, like millions and
Oh,
millions
dude.
and millions of followers within like a week. Like one or two
Instagram or
pictures,
Tumblr, that's your spot.
you're done. The whole rest of the internet's just gonna give up.
And if you put the kitten in like some glasses and a fedora and a scarf, go to Tumblr and you
It's
will
over.
rule.
You
Like,
rule the
bigger than
world.
Humans of New York, 3 days.
Yeah.
Legitimate.
Guaranteed. So I've been very consistent in my work. I've kind of been lucky because I took up photography to execute an idea that I wanted to kind of capture these people I found to be really aesthetically interesting on the street. So like the camera was just a tool for me. So that let me refine my work because I didn't really care about taking pictures of anything else. So I was definitely very directionally driven, and honestly, like my work had a few elements. I mean, every once in a while I'd post something I call like everyday extraordinary that would be kind of stuff that didn't really go on my blog that I saw that was interesting while I was out shooting, but that's kind of there sometimes. I don't know. I guess I should get rid of that and be more consistent. I guess that's my one area where I could be more consistent.
This is
This
we're
is-
moving forward.
Yes, I'm finally moving forward. My
Curation.
consistency after like 3 or 4 years is now taking the next step.
Yeah. It's hard because it's just like you just want to get more and more, like you want to curate more and more. I feel like we're going to encourage people to be like, they're going to come to me and be like, dude, I am a street eyeball photographer.
That's
Only
that's
blue
interesting,
ones,
but that's fantastic. I think you could get a book
That's very cool.
of that. I mean, I think this is where the discipline really comes in. Is in like when you keep narrowing down your focus, you have to not necessarily pass up on shots, but like you're gonna the shots you take that aren't necessarily a subject, they're not really going towards this big hard project you're working on, and if you go out like wander through the woods like somewhere and shoot trees, you're like, oh, I just could have been out shooting eyeballs. I could have been shooting people's eyeballs downtown. So it's that discipline is challenging because I mean there's plenty of times when I've been shooting street style and I'll see things that are really awesome, and it's hard not to just put them on the blog and I mean that's kind of the place where you throw things in your portfolio, but to really focus in on one thing's really challenging. I mean, you go through weeks and months. I mean, I've had a recent stretch where I shot like 3 or 4 people in like 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, that's tough when you're shooting like 20, 30, 40 hours a week and that's what you turn up with.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's where you really have to find something you really love. And I think that's what this consistency helps you with too, is like you find out whether you really love shooting something or not when it's the only thing you're
Very
shooting
true.
every week.
Very true. Yeah, and it's hard to stay inspired, even if it's something that you're extremely passionate about. It's very hard to stay inspired in that. I mean, there are times where I just go out and I'm like, I just do not even want to talk to people today at all. But I have to, I have to push myself. And that was, I was telling them that consistency is something that pushes you like to the end of yourself and then it teaches you to go further and further and further and further, and that's how you grow. But it is hard. It gets difficult when you're out there and it's like raining and there's like 3 people out today, but you want it so bad. But at the same time, it's like you don't want it. You just don't have the energy.
You just want to go home and sleep. You just want
go
to
home.
go watch Netflix with your honey and just relax and not walk around, or when it's freezing out and nobody in the South goes outside.
Right.
But that's also sometimes when you get your best pictures.
Sure.
So you always got to go out.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, consistency is, it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the other thing kind of to think of is not necessarily consistency it's like you think of it at first as a limiting factor, but really, especially when you're first starting off, if you just shoot a whole bunch of different things, I mean, it's fine when you're kind of finding, your passion and what you're interested in, but then your growth really stagnates, as James was talking about. Consistency breeds growth. Like consistency is the catalyst for growth. And if you're shooting all these, if you're just shooting eyeballs every day, you learn to understand light, composition. You've stripped away all these other elements and you're just focusing on this one subject. And you learn these elements that will apply later on. You say, oh, well, I want to be a professional photographer and, I need to learn how to shoot buildings. Like, if you shoot 1,000,000 eyeballs, you will probably know pretty well how to shoot a building. I mean, the rules of composition, lighting, all of these
Especially
things.
if it's a circle.
Yeah, a circle building. I mean, man, you could could be your job, is just photographing circle buildings, because everyone's like, wow, it looks just like a retina. That's amazing. So, I mean, I think it's, at first you might kind of feel hesitant, like you're not learning a full package of skills. But if you just spread yourself so thin, shooting dogs and cats and light bulbs and hipster glasses and all these things, you can't really progress, because your mind's having to switch all these different gears and you're shooting all these different things, and
you're just playing.
Yeah, it's not, and it's hard to really critique your photos, because it's not like, I go back to the very first street portrait I took, and it's like, but you can take that and you can take your most recent work and you can really compare them side by side, because they're really kind of the same thing. And, it can be frustrating, but then if you look through it, you can really see the growth as you flip through years and years and years and years in content. Because, photography takes a long time to get pretty good at it.
Yeah. And I want to make sure that we're very clear about what we mean, how this actually plays out in your life. I mean consistency in terms of what you shoot, when you go out to shoot, how you post-process, where you share the photos online, how you share the photos online, when you share the photos online especially, all of this stuff. Just consistency in all of these different elements. That's what I mean. Like, think of anything that you can think of that you can be more consistent in. That's going to grow you. Unless it's consistency in taking 1,000,000 different types of subjects.
Or not shooting anything at all.
Or not shooting anything.
Yeah, never. I consistently never take my camera out of my camera bag.
In which case, you might need to find another venture to support yourself or passion thing. You just sit at the couch all day, watch Netflix. That's what I'm consistent at.
Well,
watching Breaking Bad.
Take pictures of different scenes on your TV.
That's true.
And have a series of like 12 million of them. Because there's strength in numbers. That's the other thing that's great about consistency. Even if you have a concept that's maybe not fully developed, or you're working in a city that maybe doesn't have, enough of something, there's definitely strength in a zillion images of a certain type of thing. Even the most mundane thing, even like trash I see on the ground that's kind of weird around downtown. Like, if there's enough of it, it's pretty interesting, especially when you just see the dedication to it and you can see the development in it. It opens up a new world for people.
This one looks like Africa.
Yeah. Is that a nose? Is this a human nose? I don't know.
That is a nose. Ah!
Oh, it's just for Mr. Potato. That's okay. So I think...
Mr. Potato Head photographer. All right, this is...
Okay. So be consistent.
Be consistent. The reason why we need to do this as photographers is because we are naturally explorers. We wander. And...
Like your hand just wandered and almost hit me in the face. You need to wander a little less with your gestures there.
I have to. This is how I communicate.
All right. I'm good. You can continue.
Consistency is important to grow your eye as a photographer, and to grow to be better at who you are as a person. Okay. That was stupid, Will. That was so dumb.
I'm sorry. I led you right into that one. I led you right into it. It's my own fault.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, it looks like we're still under 20 minutes, so we can at least be happy about that.
Yeah. We are consistent. We're starting to get consistent. We're trying to be consistent with our videos here. Mm-hmm. We're going to consistently post them. We're going to try to consistently not go way over time. Mm-hmm. We're going to try to consistently do a pretty okay job at this. Mm-hmm. We're going to try to consistently add value for you.
Yes.
Hopefully.
I think, is there anything else that we can add to this? I think we really tackled this in a very special way.
Yeah, you definitely literally touched me. So
I did.
I feel I was touched several times in a row. So I think that's consistent. Mm. That was consistent touching, consistent feelings, like our last video, feelings, if that was the last one or if this one came before it. Hopefully that was the last one. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree.
So, hopefully that I metaphorically touched your face inappropriately today. And if I did, then leave a comment, let us know if we inspired you, and like it, and subscribe if you liked it that much. And we're going to make some more videos for you guys. And you have a lovely day. Talk about how you can be more consistent, or at least think about it. That's really what we want. Like, execute on it. But we want to know that you executed on it.
Send us your new blog on eyeball photos or trash in the streets of your city. That's what we really want to see.
Yes. Seriously, if that happens, we might share that.
Promo, you'll be right up here. Woo, link.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, you're going to have to make me have to animate again, Will. All right, bye, guys. Have a lovely day.
Have a good one.